Okay guys, here we go for yet another Monday night 9-ball Scotch doubles. Remember, it's a double elimination, race to 7 on the winner's side, and I think it's a race to 5 on the one loss side. Let's have a quick look at the brackets, and we'll see that this is a hot seat match here between Mr. Bill and Darkwingduck, who is playing Romario and Zecarioca. We join it in the third rack. It's one rack all, and we can see that they're both playing scratch, so nobody's getting any racks in this match. And we've got Darkwingduck at the table, otherwise known as Blood Vision Code, I believe. 9 balls hanging over the pocket, so it's just a matter of potting the 2 and running the 3 onto the 9. So very quickly Darkwingduck and Mr. Bill go into a 2 racks to 1 lead. And of course, remember, winner breaks. Didn't really get much into that break there. Sometimes I think if you break too close to the side rails, the pack seems to be dead. Not an awful lot of movement in the balls, and of course a dry break. And that one will pass the 9. Oh, I don't know what he tried there, but he's got lucky. Bill's going to have to try and kick this off the rail. He can do that with a bit of English, I think. Maybe, well, maybe he needed to take a wee bit more time over that shot. Try and read the angle better. So Zecarioca has ball in hand, just needs to drop the 1 in. And that was not the shot to play. That was very poor. You didn't need to do that. Let's have a look. Yeah, no shot in the 3. That was bad. I think he could easily have held for that 3 ball. Let's have a look at that 7 and 8. Now, does that 7 pass the 8? No, it doesn't. So a bit of work to be done for whoever's going to win this rack. And Darkwingduck just plays the containing safety. Full ball snooker, so Romario's got to kick again. And I think Romario's in one of his funny moods where he just wants to get on with the game as usual, and he's playing it far too quickly. But as I say, the 7 and 8 being tied up like they are, the only way they can be, the 7 can be potted is getting behind it and taking it into that left middle, or somehow moving it. And this isn't an ideal angle at all. I think Bill's just going to have to, well, he can only put top in the cue ball, so that will run the cue ball off the end rail and back up. And well, he's given his partner now an angle on the 6, and there's a good angle here to come across and split these 2 balls. Looks a pretty good angle to me. Might need a little tad of English, inside English, just to square the ball off that rail so it comes across. Of course, he's still got to get the 6 ball. Well, the 2 of them are discussing putting the cue ball over to the side to try and get a shot into the left middle, and that's actually a good shot. And that proves one thing: you could have went for the split on them, but when you've got the shot and you've got the angle to play the position, much better to do that, because it still gives you full control of the table. And that's how to win racks, and that's how to win matches. This should just be a simple shot, drop the 8 in, and well, he's still got a shot, so I think he tried to play that for the middle pocket, but he's overhit it. And that, again, punishment duly administered there, because remember, that was down to some poor play by the opponents. Now, again this time, no luck in the break. Now can he get onto that one? Yeah, you can see enough of that. The problem's getting onto the 2. The one's buried deep in the pocket, and that's a good shot. Well, there we go. All that room to manoeuvre the cue ball. Where does he put it? Behind the 9. Giving his partner no shot. Now let's see if the punishment can be administered again here, because there's a good strong chance it will be. Bill just needs to draw off the side rail. Plenty of room again to get on this 4. And again, looking at this, it's a straight 4, so just draw the cue ball back out. I would imagine he doesn't want to mess around with that 9 ball. And the sensible shot here would be just to roll through in the 5 and leave the 6 into the middle, and hopefully get the right side of the 6 so that the cue ball's going to come up towards the 7. Let's see if he has. Let's have a look. No, just the wrong side. Again, if he's going to go forward here, he needs to avoid the 8 ball. Things can go wrong if he starts colliding with things. But there's still plenty of room in that table there to get on the 7, surely. Yeah, well, he's hit it hard enough. Odds on he was going to collide with the 8, but he's pushed it through. Pushed it pretty close to the rail, but I don't really see any problems here. And this match is very quickly going to run away from Romario and Zecarioca if they don't steady the ship here. And it's 2 errors that have been punished, and that's exactly what should happen. That's the one way to learn. You certainly, hopefully, can learn from your mistakes in this game, and that's 2 classic examples of how that's done. When you're playing opponents that are capable, then you find yourself on the end of a beating. And if you keep doing the same thing and making the same mistakes, you're going to be in the end of a real good beating. And of course, this time on the break, we had a couple of balls go down. The 1 and the 3 ball have gone, and of course, unfortunately, no shot in the 2. But just looking for cover here with a push out. And I wonder if Romario's going to try something silly. A crazy thin cut into the middle, maybe. Well, there you go again. The wise move would have been to try and work out a decent safety, but he's played a nothing shot again. And this might be the third rack where they're going to be in the end of the wrong end of the score. But the problem, of course, looking up table there, the 6 and the 8 ball are tied up, and that might be Romario and Zecarioca's lifeline in this rack. Now there's a good chance here if Mr. Bill just gets the cue ball slightly closer to the rail, not much than what this 5 ball is, just off parallel. That means he's got a nice angle, but he's run into it, and oh well. Oh dear. Darkwingduck's looking to play a thin off this 5 and try and get cover somewhere. Doesn't want to move the 5 ball much. And that's pretty good to me. That looks good. That's well played. Again, he just took his time, thought out a shot, and managed to actually accomplish it, which is what it's all about. It's about looking at the table, visualising your safety shot, if it happens to be a safety shot, and actually doing it. A lot of players don't do that. Again, a good chance for cover, but Bill's went for the bank because he's going to get nothing out of it. He's got no shot in the 6. You can use the 8 ball as a stopper and bring the cue ball back up this end of the table here to the bottom of the screen, because that 8 ball will just hold the 6 there. And if he plays it with the right pace, he might actually get covered behind the 7 and the 9 here. Needs to get it thin though. And he's played it softer, but he's got the second part of the task there. He's got the cover behind the 9. And of course, well, what punishment do you get best when you play banging shots like that? Well, he scratches and sells this rack down the river. Ball in hand, Mr. Bill on the 6 ball, just a nice little roll through, leave an angle in the 7 so the cue ball can come out for the 8. One thing he doesn't want to do is go dead straight on the rail with this 7 ball. And I think he's pretty much done that. So, only thing that Darkwingduck can do is draw back off this 7 and get the cue ball up the table beyond where it is just now, so that at least Bill can see the ball and a pocket. And he's just asking Bill where he wants with the cue ball. Well, he's totally underhit that, and really I think Bill can try for the safety here, but there's no really many places to hide in this table, so he's probably going to go for the bank, and it might be a double bank by the looks of it. No, he's tried the safety, tried to get in behind the 9, and I would think an ambitious cut shot here's probably on the menu. That was too tough. So that's this rack gone. Darkwingduck just needs to roll the 8 in, stop the cue ball, or follow through, whatever he's comfortable with. But either way, Bill's going to be knocking this 9 in a minute or two. So, Mr. Bill and Darkwingduck going to a 5-1 lead, and to be honest with you, the way this is going, I don't see Romario and Zecarioca getting another rack, especially if they're just impatiently hitting balls and not putting a lot of thought into it. Again, ball goes in the break. This time it's the, what ball was that? The 8 ball. Yep, 8 ball's gone. There is a shot in the 1. and the opportunity to go over to the right side rail for the 2 down into the bottom pocket or even into the middle, but made a wee bit of a hash at that one, Bill. Well, Romario pulls out a good one on the 1 ball, leaves his partner on the 2, and his partner's going to have to probably draw back. This looks pretty straight, and he's under hit that and left Romario a much higher angle. And there's 4 balls right in the middle of the table, and again that's probably not quite, but almost the worst place you could probably stick the cue ball, because the difficulty here is trying to pot the 4 and somehow get the cue ball onto this 5, and that's near impossible. So he's leaving his partner far too much to do. So I think he's going to try and cut this into the middle. Now, how's his luck? How's his luck? Well, that's actually a pretty damn good shot, considering what he was left with. And Mario just needs a little draw here. Well, again, totally hashed that one as well. And just spending no time there using his shot clock. You've got a 30-second shot clock and a 15-second extension. Romario just wants to play every shot in 5 seconds, and it's not working. So when something's not working, you don't keep doing the same thing. You try something else. And the first bit of advice I would say is take your time. But still a chance. Not easy, but still a chance. Well, I'm going to have to eat my words. Unless Romario totally hashes up this 9, they're going to get another rack in the board. Oh dear, 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 dear. I think Romario wants to go to bed. That was really bad. And I still might not have to eat my words. So, Darkwingduck, aka Blurred Vision Code, and his partner Mr. Bill are right on the money. They lead by 6 racks to 1. Just 1 rack away from victory, and also again the 8 ball goes down, but no shot in the 1, but plenty of room to manoeuvre here. Just tuck that 1 in along by the 3 and send the cue ball up the table. Well, we could have got a bit more length than that cue ball, because there's a fairly easy combo here on this 1 and 7. Again, just seems to be too much of a rush to get shots done. Both players, Zecarioca and Romario. I don't think he really gave an awful lot of study to that shot. But it's gone relatively safe unless Darkwingduck can billiard off that, which he can. And this time he's not got lucky. No shot in the 1. And that's going to be ball in hand. He's not hit a rail. So Romario, I think, is totally given up here, because he's tried a stupid combination on the 9, and that tells me he's not up for the fight. When it was much easier just to run the balls there. I don't know what his partner's thinking, but I'd be screaming if that was me. And this might be coming infectious. Darkwingduck. A poor shot in the one. Concentrating and holding for the 2 ball. And now we've got Zecarioca trying a crazy kick shot. And it's getting a bit messy. I think Mr. Bill and Darkwingduck would do best just to get this over and done with. And that's perfect on the 2. Can either drop in behind the 3 on the right side, or draw back, or follow through, whatever he prefers. And a nice angle again. It's all about angles. You get a nice angle on the 3, brings the cue ball nicely up for the 4. And the 5 sitting in the right hand, or sorry, the left hand side there, shouldn't be any issues here other than totally under hitting this and blocking that 5 with the 9. So he just needs to get right over to the left here. Would be ideal. If he could drop the cue ball onto the left rail, it would be perfect. That leaves a nice angle to bring the cue ball back up for the 6. And it looks as if he's almost overhit this. He's overhit it. That was really poor. Unbelievably bad. I mean, look at the room that he had to get on that 9. And again, that's just overhitting the shot. So Romario now is going to have to drop the 5 onto the 6 and just hope that 5 holds there, which it has done. Surely he can't mess this up. Surely he can just drop through and leave his partner on this 9 into the top. Well, looks simple enough to me. Just doesn't want to overhit this, because if it hits that jaw, oh, he's got it in clean. So they're still alive. They really shouldn't be though, but they're still in the match. As long as that scoreboard stays in 6, you're always in the game. But the way Romario played a couple of those shots earlier there in the rack, he didn't. I don't think he was interested. Yeah, he's definitely not focused at all. But again, got away with it. Romario's a good enough player, but his biggest problem is he's just too much in a hurry most of the time. Darkwingduck having to kick there, and he's got safe. And again, the easy safety, thin off the 1, send a 1 behind the 9 onto this bottom rail and cue ball up behind the 5. The angle's there to do it. He's going the other way by the looks of it. I don't know what Bill's trying. He's trying to knock this one onto the 7, but that's, oh dear, well, that finishes the match. That's one way of getting it. He flukes the 9, and the match is all over, and Darkwingduck and Mr. Bill win by 7 racks to 2, and it should have been 7-1 at best.